Let's hope for the best, because I'm pretty sure I will fail at the first move. Okay, I'm live now. So, welcome everyone, I'm Jujstme, and here with me we have Giant and Equinox. Equinox is the world record holder for this game in basically every category, so props for him to agreeing to help with the commentary at the last minute.
Such a pleasure.
Very last minute.
Yeah, really. And thank you, Giant, for being here. Giant is probably the guy who knows the most about this game, so you really should listen to his advice while we play this game. So we are going. Yeah.
I'm so flattered.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so we will go through the world tour, which is basically the story mode of this game. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch calling him story mode, because this game has literally no story mode. World Tour is just a series of events that you go through in order to learn the basics of this game. That should be the main objective of World Tour, and to unlock stuff that you will lose during time trials and multiplayer and basically all the other modes. So the World Tour has these 5 events. There's a 6th one which will be unlocked when we finish the 80% run, so we will not be doing that. We will go through any of these events and collect the stars that you usually collect for completing the event successfully. We will get 3 stars for any event that we complete in A class difficulty. At the end of the run, we have basically our target is getting to 95 stars in order to unlock the last event of the game, and that basically is the objective of our run. So we will use A-class difficulty because it gives 1 stars and it's faster. And as for the character choices, we will basically go for Metasonic because it's a DLC character, but one of the latest updates for this game basically made it free character from the start, and it's the only character that has all the car mods unlocked from the start. And we are going to use the console mod because the console mod is just the best one for every character. I think we can start and we will explain stuff while it unfolds. So the run will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
And most importantly, Metal Sonic doesn't have to waste time leveling up.
Yeah,
you don't have to go through loading screens when it comes to characters finishing the event. So say if a character is level 1 and they finish their event, you have to wait for their experience bar to go up, and you have to wait for if they level up and things like that.
Yeah, oh yeah, that animation easily takes lots of seconds away from. Okay, that's not a good start, but still okay. So we really want to be aware from the AI, because as you can see here, the AI really starts messing up very early.
This is the worst, most reset-heavy map, and luckily it's the first one.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reason
on this map are just totally brutal. They'll bump you everywhere.
Yeah, and the reason is basically there are 2 reasons for resetting this game at this track. The first is this triple boost, which is extremely important to get a good time.
Because of the way water works, which is
yeah.
pretty.
And the second one is the fish. Oh boy, the fish.
The fish is great. You can actually use him as a ramp.
No, please don't.
If you knock into him properly as well, he can bump you forward.
Yeah, it's.
But we won't be doing that.
Okay. Okay, no, that's right.
Oh, you're not using my strat.
No, I'm using my personal strat. It works fine. And it's very consistent for me using the fish. Because that fish, in the PC version that we are playing, it actually has collision, but in the console version it doesn't.
So the way a boost in water works is, like, you actually never lose speed once you attain a certain speed, if you stay boosted.
Yeah.
So if you go into the water at 6 boost speed, and you just never enter a state of non-boost, you're at 6 boost speed the entire time, even if you're only using your level 1 boosts.
Yeah, the boost mechanic is quite complex in this game because you have to remember that this game basically is like 3 games in one because you can race in a car form, both for plane form, because of the transform mechanic that is unique on this game. And each one has its quirks.
And this year's a drift challenge.
Yeah, this is just go as fast as you can. The drift challenge basically requires you to drift through these areas in order to accumulate more extra seconds of time, which is okay, but not really a must for A class because you have a lot of time left anyway. In S class it becomes really more important to be very careful where you drift on.
If anyone notices, he's touching both boost pads as he's going through to get level 3 from both of them, as one boost pad grants you a level 2 in these events. So when he touches both of them, he gets level 3 from them, as opposed to level 2.
Yeah, we probably should explain how the boost mechanic works in this game. So basically boosting is divided into levels. So it's not as simple as you just drift and boost. You have actually you have different levels of boost you can attain. Drifting can you go up to a level 3 boost, but the game allows up to a level 6. The difference between the different levels are basically exponential, so it's extremely important to get high levels whenever you can, compared to a low level one, with a couple of exceptions of course.
And the way boost work varies a lot between A class and S class, which is basically you can view that as like 100cc from Mario Kart and 150cc.
Game speed being tied to difficulty.
Yeah. So
that was lucky.
So this entire run is done basically on A class, which is not where matchmaking or time trials operates on. Those operate on S class.
Yeah, the rules are a bit different because boosting is quite broken on S class.
Literally, a level 1 boost on S class slows you down. And a level 2 boost does essentially nothing. Oh wow, you actually dodged the boxes.
Yeah, exactly, I really wanted to get them, but...
Yo, that's so hard to do.
This game has a system of where when you do tricks, you accumulate a drift charge behind your car. So say if you do one roll, you gain a level 1 level 1 speed
unlucky.
after it. And if you do 3 rolls, you will gain a level 3 upon landing. However, if you do a triple unique, as we call them, where it's 2 flips, 1 forward, 1 downward, and 1 sideways, roll sideways, you will achieve a level 4. Which is usually what we try to aim for almost all the time.
Usually, there's like 2 exceptions.
Oh, that's lucky. A second glove.
So he's actually risk boosting an invisible wall to the left of that there.
Oh yeah, that game is so full of mechanics. Hidden mechanics, because the game is supposed to teach you a lot of stuff, but it really doesn't. There are a lot of stuff that you really need to learn by yourself.
And these explosions in the water can actually hit you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you get too close to them, you have to be careful.
And they're still in time attack. It's the only hazard that hasn't been deactivated.
I mean, time attack is supposed to basically stop all the hazard, because it usually does. But these geysers from the water explosions, they are still present in time attack. They're so annoying.
Oh, something interesting about this map. We can see he's actually avoiding that early plane rain. He's like literally going around it. Just because of the way water boost works. Because he's gonna land with like a forward boost.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
gonna be going way faster than he could go in plane there.
Yeah, that's true.
It looks like a shortcut, but if you're really good, it isn't.
And as soon as you go through the transfer ring, your momentum resets. So that's another thing too.
Okay, so now we are going for the versus event, which is one of the main choke points of this run usually, because this run is surprisingly consistent. because the RNG is quite limited, and the A-class AI is not as bad as the S-class, but there are a couple of events which are really RNG dependent, and this is one of them. Because basically, you have to overtake your opponents in this run. Okay, that's awful. Okay, he missed me, that's good. You basically have to overtake your opponents. If you gain enough distance, the game will automatically set your victory flag.
The little bar is on the bottom left of the screen.
Yeah, that was actually
green.
That was actually quite slow, to be honest.
When the character's icon begins flashing, that's how you know the next round is going to begin, which very shortly if you stay at home.
Oh my god, this is terrible. I'm missing everything. This is easily a 20 seconds time loss just because of the AI. If the AI for whatever reason decides to help you, basically it slows down and you basically win this round way faster than you should be.
A good example of the boat mechanic was just shown there as where a level 4 was attained going into the water, and then a level 1 was used through a drift charge to maintain momentum in the water so he could have increased boost speed throughout the whole water section.
Yeah, so he was going forward boost the whole time because of that.
And now we go for a boost challenge. I think this is the only boost challenge we will do in this run. So boost challenge is just basically there is a timer. If the timer reaches 0, you lose, but you can stop the timer for 2.5 seconds each time you basically boost.
Essentially, you could chain level 1 boosting to not have the timer drain if you really wanted to be cautious about the timer. But how this timer works, you really don't have to do that, as there are multiple boost pads across these events.
Oh yeah, another thing that you will see me doing quite a lot is basically aligning myself in order to hit 2 boost pads at the same time, because this gives you a higher level boost, because the game, sometimes some boost pads are close enough that the game still thinks they are the same, but for a couple of them like these ones, the game thinks they are 2 different boost pads, so you will get 2 boosts at the same time basically.
Oh, and also the most important mechanic in the game, pretty much on a basic level, is the whole drift switch.
Oh yeah.
So that's when you see him alternating directions while drifting. So what that does is it basically, once you retain a certain level of drift, you can drift switch by letting go of drift and like turning directions, and then hitting drift again.
That keeps your drift charge. And that's extremely useful for getting a higher level drift.
It's critical to going fast in general.
You have to remember that switch drifting resets the time to charge for the next level of drift if you do not have a level 3. So if you have a level 2 and you go halfway towards charging for a level 3, the moment you switch drift, the timer resets as soon as you go back to the original direction you were in.
Yeah.
Still have a lot of time, lucky. Okay, that track makes me so nervous each time.
This track is just bad, I hate it.
Oh yeah. I mean,
the 2 bends at the end are really what make me dislike it.
Those are
the rest
two
of the track
hardest.
isn't that bad. Though the green carpet too, I can't forget about the green carpet.
I mean, we have Galactic Parade, which is another potentially a choke point, but that's for a completely different reason. And you will see what I mean quite soon. So I'm now using a technique here which is basically chain boosting or stacking, which is basically throwing 2 different sources of boost and releasing them at the same time. That is extremely useful for getting a higher level boost. So I accumulate a level 2 now, and soon I will have a level 3. 1, level 2 and level 3, which makes a level 5 boost. So the boost level can be easily seen from the colors of the flame behind your car. As a general rule, the longer your flame is, the higher your boost level is. But the color code is quite easy to remember. So, okay, I failed to channel
It's
level
red,
3 here.
purple, blue, then like orange.
And then we have this orange. We have a blue with a long flame, and then orange with rings.
big rings.
Oh, that was
Very
okay.
good.
Okay, now we are releasing the triple boost now, and this is extremely useful because in A class getting to the triple pickup here and the lap 2 is extremely hard
Yeah,
sometimes.
This shortcut is actually time based. That whole section will rise up if you don't make it in time.
Yeah, there's a cycle basically. So if you are not fast enough, you will miss the opportunity to get that triple boost item. Another thing that I will do quite a lot in plane section is rolling. Because
Oh,
if
yeah,
you roll,
if-
yeah,
If you roll while you're boosted, you don't slow down at all. But if you're not boosted, you actually just stop accelerating for the entire duration of the roll, which is 0.6 of a second. So what it essentially does is it just keeps displacing you forward if you angle it forward. So it's just a way to go forward faster. Try to go fast.
yeah.
And he went really fast there because he clipped through the whole ship.
Yeah, it's quite easy to clip through the ship if you start boosting at the right time. Because I think the main issue is the cycle at which you start boosting might affect when the ship appears. So in the plane section, boosting works a little differently. So you see me sometimes drifting up to a level 1 and not getting a level 2 or level 3 as often as I do on land. And that's because while on air, boosting basically increases your speed irrespective of your boost level, so up to a certain point. So basically you always want to be boosting as much as possible, and you don't care the level.
Yeah, boost in
Mostly.
plane mode work the way you would expect a boost to work, whereas boats and cars just do not.
Yeah, exactly.
All three of the vehicles work completely differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are here again. This time for a race. And then another interesting stuff is, while you boost start, you basically don't want to move as much because you will actually slow down a little if you do.
Yeah,
Oh, that's unlucky.
This game is a weird physics engine where if you're like turning while at the start of a boost, it like interferes with your acceleration rate, and you don't want that. It doesn't make much sense, but whatever.
Yeah. So we have the super glow, which is an extremely useful item in general, and especially for a speedrun.
Especially against AI.
Especially against bees, because it's quite easy to overtake the AI. When they are really far away, they will start screwing with
We
you.
haven't seen these yet, have we?
Not yet.
No, it's very difficult to get before Twilight Engine because of the A class.
So we're saying bees, and they're essentially the blue shell of this game, but they work differently. They're not guaranteed to hit you. They just spawn a bunch of
Bees.
If you
yeah.
get lucky, sometimes you can go right through them. It's very strange.
On elevated or curved surfaces, sometimes you just phase through them.
Yeah, their hitbox is quite erratic.
Yeah, it's super weird.
And that's actually way slower than I expected. I don't know why. So transform boosting with the triple unique is I think, faster than boosting on the water and then getting the transform ring. Especially in S-Class. I don't know in I-Class, to be honest.
A-Class is actually really unexplored right now. There's a lot of
unexplored territory.
Yeah, the current world record doesn't plays A-Class the same way you would play S-Class, actually. But there's some minor differences that could actually make for some really big time improvements.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because level 1 boosts are actually good in A-Class.
Yeah, in S-Class they basically slow you down, so you never want a level 1. That's good. It's a bit slower than I expected, but still okay. And now we start with the first traffic attack of this speedrun.
Everyone loves traffic attack.
No, I don't.
I don't.
Okay, the traffic attacks in World Tour are quite different from each other because they have very special stuff inside them. Each one of them has. So this one is the first one. Ideally, this the easiest one, but it has basically no items, so you just have to drive good. The second one, which will be in Dragon Canyon, it has items and it's probably much more consistent if you know the patterns, because the cars are actually not RNG. They drive on a very set pattern.
So the green ones just don't move, and the yellow ones, they just strafe side to side.
And the blue ones, the cop cars, they basically follow you.
They try to get right in front of you, so you have to fake them out, basically. Like, you lure them to a side and then you switch direction.
That was unlucky. Okay, so sometimes you can basically land on top of a car, and that won't count as a hit.
So
For some
what
reason.
happened there is he hit a boost pad right after getting hit, which means that he essentially doesn't slow down at all.
Yeah.
Because even a level 1 boost at like 0 speed is enough to bring you up to near max speed. So boost pads are just kind of OP.
No, alright.
Oh, okay. Alright, I knew it.
In
Yeah.
this game, the boost pads only give you level 1 acceleration.
Oh god, I'm
and then
performing so
slow.
poorly today.
Oh yeah, the boost pads, the boost level that the boost pads give you varies based on every game mode. Because, I don't know.
Sumo, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sumo is always the explanation for everything.
In matchmaking and time attack, they only... No, in time attack they give you 1. In matchmaking they give you 2. And here they give you 1?
No, in some events they give 2, in some others they give 1.
Wait, really?
Yes. Traffic attack they give 1. Boost challenge they give 1. Races versus they give 2. All stuff that are races basically give 2.
I didn't know it varied in this mode.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is the second boost challenge of this run.
So this is one of the biggest maps where water boost levels make a big difference. If you can just chain your boost.
Yeah, I will try the triple unique in the water section because it's faster, but it's extremely risky in A-class because it's way harder than S-class.
You should be able to get away with only 2 rolls.
2 rolls should do the trick, though.
Yeah. Because you are slower in this, so getting a triple unique is harder.
Okay.
And it's already hard.
Okay, so now I have a stunt buffer, which is unlucky, but that's okay.
So yeah, what you saw there was on that section, for some reason, if you input a roll too early, the game just doesn't activate your roll. And the next time you hit roll, it makes you roll twice.
Yeah, this game basically has some weird physics, and in the previous unpatched version, you could basically buffer anything, even the respawns, which is a widely used trick for time trials. But they patched that.
And
But
I guess
the
it's
stand
worth
buffer,
noting-
the stand buffer stuff is still present, however, which is unlucky.
And I guess it's worth noting that like 98% of the competition in this game is time attack.
Oh, I did
But-
it. That's okay. That's better.
Oh wow, nice.
Nice.
Do it. Get the jump. You could do a huge jump here.
Yeah.
Should we explain the
Oh, he did it.
rolling into the water section rather than drift rolling to gain increased speed because of how the physics work in this game? Should we go in depth with that?
Yeah, so each time you roll, stunting is useful for two reasons basically. The first one is for getting a boost bonus, and the second one is because rolling actually displaces you on the left and on the right. You will see this basically here because I will attempt a stunt, a risk boost, and that can obviously make you gain more distance.
And this is the first ring challenge, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
there are
Jeez.
2 ring challenges if I remember. No, 3 ring challenges.
And I just want to say how awesome risk boosts actually are, because they just make the game literally twice as good.
You can
Yeah,
just
that's
pick
true.
up immediately any obstacle, any wall, any form of a wall.
Yeah,
any
even invisible
walls.
wall. You can basically risk boost even off invisible walls, which is
Anything with collision.
yeah.
If you just roll right before colliding with something, it just gives you a boost, and it's just great.
Risk boost, risk boost.
Yeah, we will
Yeah.
see another Slayer probably.
I guess it's worth noting that you can miss a few rings in ring races. However, you just have to be wary of the time losses that you take from missing the rings.
Yeah, which is usually not a big issue in A class because you have a lot of time, but it actually still penalizes you because every 5 rings you get an item boost, a boost item, unless you miss a ring. If you miss a ring, the counter will go down to 0, so you have to cross under another 5 rings. That's extremely worrying sometimes.
But there are points where you literally can't item boost, so you could route around it if you need.
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
true.
There's just there's actually some pretty challenging turns in those ring challenges.
So, this is the track in which the AI decided to be very nice in the beginning. Oh,
This is actually one of the
Okay.
fastest tracks in the game in time attack. You can hit over 400 speed here, and that's twice base speed.
no, it's probably Green Valley you can be even faster than 400.
Only technically, because you fall for like 15 seconds straight. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see that jump in this run,
No, because we basically won't do Green Valley in this run.
because if you're just trying to any percent this, you don't want to play the map that takes like 3 minutes.
Even more because 3 minutes is an extremely good time in S class. In A class, is, I think it's
actually
impossible.
really hard to hit 3 minutes on Dream Valley.
So I'm
Because-
keeping the level 3 boost here because I want to release it in the water section. Because that waterfall is extremely important to gain very high speed.
So, the way falling, when you're falling and you hit water, you actually, while you're falling, you gain speed. Like, you're accelerating as you go down. And if you hit water and you're boosted, you keep that speed. So you can actually go way faster than, like, even the fastest normal speed in the game. So in time attack, for instance, like a 6 boost speed would be
Oh,
290.
here we have the bees.
Oh yeah, here's the D's. The first time we see them.
Yeah, we will see a bunch of times, especially in Graveyard Gig.
It's worth mentioning that the stunt buffer, the stunt fail that he's doing on the tiny ramp before achieving the level 3 from drifting, you do not lose any speed from the intentional stunt fail. However, it's not really something that you want to do consistently, but it's very useful in small spots like those, as you can keep charging your drift and also gain small distance from rolling and intentional stunt failing. Now this is
Oh, that's finally a good fast quarter part. Finally. Double stunting there at the stairs is extremely risky, especially in A class. Here we are again.
These are the worst places to get bees too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
That's like arguably the worst place in the game to get bees.
But you can see that basically I passed through the bees because sometimes the collisions doesn't work.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So it's arguably not the worst.
Yeah.
because it's the tightest spot in the game, but also inclined surfaces just bug them out real hard.
Sometimes they appear above the stairs, sometimes they appear right on the stairs.
Oh yeah, sometimes they'll spawn 20 feet above you.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is a battle race. There are only 2 battle races in this run. This one and another in Temple Trouble. Battle race works with an interesting mechanic, so you don't have all 10 racers, but there are only 5 including you. And basically the main objective is to hit your opponents with items.
Yeah, it's like the balloons in Mario Kart.
Yeah, and I'm actually quite unlucky because I keep getting drones, which are arguably not the best choices for an item in this mode.
Yeah, you don't actually have to go all that fast here. You just need to.
You just need to eliminate your other opponents. I mean, you can complete a battle race as a normal race,
Yeah,
but it's usually slower.
it's very slow. Because you just have to finish all 3 laps, or hope they eliminate each other.
Oh, Taser slow down. He wants to hit me. You can easily guess the AI is. Yeah, as I told earlier. The Angular is still at full health, which is something I really don't want.
Nice snipe on your lava.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's unlucky.
Usually in battle races, you hope to get ice as you get.
Okay, that was a nice battle race.
You don't even have to use all 3 ice in succession, like just all as one. You can throw them one by one individually, and it'll consider all of them as 3 individual hits.
Yeah.
Rather than all of them as one, and it'll be 1 hit.
You want to use the items at the same time, for example, in matchmaking, because if you hit an opponent 3 times with their ice, they will get a freeze, which basically slows them down for a couple of seconds. Makes them unable to accelerate. This is the one stage in which we will see the risk boost mechanic better than any other stage in this run. I'm actually using the safe path in the marathon because you can actually go to the left of the dinosaur and it's actually faster but more risky.
Yeah, there's a wall and a large pillar in between. You can squeeze through them, however the timing for it isn't risky.
It's one of the harder maps, really.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Especially if you get hit by the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna see that. So, unfortunately, this map has an element where gotta go fast is not the answer.
Yeah, because basically there are a couple of stuff here that basically gets broken when you go too fast. And that's possibly because, I mean, I think that might be the case. The developers didn't really think you can get so fast in a certain section of the game, so they didn't time a couple of stuff properly.
Yeah, so that drawbridge there, he actually had to slow down for it, because otherwise you would just, you can't go over it, you just hit it, and then you're stuck falling down for like 10 seconds.
I'm playing so bad today. And here we are, the bees again. These are quite easy to avoid in any flight section, to be honest.
Yeah, you can just go under or above. You can also drive through fire if you're boosted, which you just did.
Yeah. Also be very careful of using the rockets, because they really like to hit you when they bounce against something.
At least 10% of the rockets you fire hit yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
On lap 2, I don't think you have to worry about the bridge, so you can go.
Yeah, the bridge is up, so I can just...
You only have to worry about it on laps 1 and 3.
And
Actually,
yeah,
that
you
was
went
too
way
fast.
further.
It's still good because I still managed to get a triple unique.
That's one of the harder turns in the game, too. Because the turn starts way before the turn actually starts.
It's like it makes you turn towards the left, but then you have to make a tight turn towards the right. Finish lines.
Like where you land determines how you take the turn, but where you land is kind of hard to control. It's a very analog game.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's
Oh
hard
god,
to-
I
it's hard
slowed
to boil
down
the game down
quite a
to, like,
lot.
determine things. So you can actually, yeah, he just went through the wall.
I
there.
keep
You
stunt
can
failing
actually-
there, and I don't know why.
it's a really annoying spot for that.
Yeah,
You can
that's
actually-
annoying.
That ring he just went through, you can land like over here from it if you
Yeah.
do it right.
I mean, the texture is not the same size as the actual trigger for the transformation.
There's
Oh,
just
I
no
forgot
collision.
about... Okay.
The bridge.
Oh god, I forgot about the bridge for a moment.
Oh,
You can easily guess.
that was so close.
This was so bad.
He basically took like the perfect 1 pixel route under it.
Yeah. But that trick maybe made me lose something like 10 seconds probably. Okay, so this is the second traffic attack of the speedrun. And probably the best one. Just for a very simple reason. This traffic attack has item boxes, but the item boxes are set. So you are guaranteed to get some items from these boxes. The first one is going to be a boost, if I remember correctly.
It's also probably the hardest time traffic attack when you're playing for the first time.
As all the turns and everything are very narrow, so you have to be careful about the cars because they take up space on the road as well as yourself.
Now we have a glove, which is extremely useful, as you can see.
Yeah, and if you hit 2 things in succession, the glove takes care of them both for you.
And then next one is a boost, so we will boost chain here for level 6. The next one, I don't want to avoid that because it's actually a super glove, so it's extremely important I get it. And you can easily guess why at this point. Lots of yellow cars.
How long does it last? Is it 20?
20, yeah.
Seconds.
It's basically just heaven. You don't have to care about anything.
The way how this game works too is if you get a regular glove before the super glove ends, you can use the regular glove and I think reset the duration of the super glove.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Actually, it does.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's such a strange thing, but it works, yeah.
Oh god, I didn't count the boost item. That's unlucky.
There's some things I still don't know. Because I never play this.
Really? I mean, you can
never-
do this in... Okay, why am I playing so bad today? I'm so nervous right now.
It's hard to commentate.
Yeah, that's probably... Yeah, for this game for sure.
Because there's no end to things to describe, really.
Yeah. So many things that can happen. Sure.
Event complete. Stickers unlocked.
Now we have a ring race, if I remember correctly, in one of the best tracks of the entire game. The alternative is Dream Valley, but
Ring race.
this ring race is the reason we will go for
Just go
this
Dream
path.
Valley anyway, just for the people.
I mean, if we have enough time left after, we probably can.
Get ready. 3,
This track is so nice, the music is so nice, everything about this track is so nice.
Uh-oh, my stream froze.
This course is more prominent to where you can miss a few rings and it really won't affect you, as this is A class as opposed to S class, and they give you plenty of time to go through these rings, to taking wider turns to take a few of the rings you really don't have to do. As some of the rings may seem to be out of the way as opposed to the rest of the track, so you could take small shortcuts here and there. You just have to be careful about the time used per ring. If you
Oh
miss-
yeah.
Would you say this is one of the easier ring challenges?
I would
No.
say so, yes. Just because, only
No,
because of
the
that
trees
wider
are
turn.
terrible in this ring challenge.
I like the wider turn that you took earlier. You can skip most of those rings, but you just have to be careful. Like, there are about 3 of them, I think. But as long as you don't hit anything, you should-
Yeah.
the trees are a problem though.
And
in
someone
this
in
course,
chat-
they are, like,
And
wide.
someone in chat that says that this track is from Panzer Dragoon.
The last one was. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. The traffic attack was. So.
Yeah, the traffic attack, yes. This one was from Skies of Arcadia. Very, very nice game.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Go. Stickers unlocked.
This is one of the only 2 stages in the entire game which we start in plane form. So you see me rolling a lot.
As we mentioned before, you can risk boost off of pretty much anything that's like has collision, so you can just risk boost as much as you like here. If you really can do
For
it
some
right.
reason, you can't risk boost the right fall there. I don't know why.
Okay, so you see me evading a drone right now. Another mechanic, which actually the game teaches about. One of the rare cases.
When the drone starts flashing as it's approaching you, if you boost slightly before it gets ready to hit you, you evade it. And the same thing applies when you risk boost, as that is a form of boosting. So if you
Yeah.
risk boost slightly before a drone is going to hit you, if not, you will evade it.
Even an item boost. Maybe even the other item that boosts you. I don't know.
Oh god. How did that happen?
Wait, what?
Exactly, wow. Never happened before.
That's never happened before.
Exactly.
That's a jaw dropper. Cool.
At least we have a that's never happened before moment.
So this track is almost guaranteed to get the bees in the following section. So lucky for me I have a glove. Actually, no bees this time, which
This
is
trim
nice.
that's coming up is actually the hardest run in the game. Probably. Because you have to slow down so much to take it perfectly.
Yeah.
Very, very narrow.
There's only a few turns in the game you actually have to slow down for.
And that definitely is one.
And that
Yeah.
that blowfish dive is just trolling.
Like most turns you have to slow down for, it's like you just like let go of Excel for like 1 second, but that one's like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
When like rhythm approaches 3 seconds, it's really hard to get it precise. So this is one of the hardest time attack maps too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Equinox here is the longest standing world record of all time on this map. It's like 4 years now.
That ending turn still gives me shudders. I usually try to like, what's it called? As we mentioned before, when we slow down on the last bit of turn there, you usually want to hold your acceleration right when you're turning right tightly. However, usually you cannot do that while your boost is still retained behind your car, which will make you slow down when your Excel button is released while you're releasing it for those 3 or so seconds.
Okay,
It's a
so
very
this
cool-
event, yeah, exactly. This event is a sprint event, which is basically time attack. You basically have to you have basically to complete a lap under a certain amount of time.
These are
and-
the best events.
It's so easy that you don't need a pre-lap, especially in
Yeah.
this one.
Yes.
I usually get something like 59 seconds here, so we will see.
And how many of these are there in this run?
2.
Not enough.
This one and the one in Chili Castle, which is arguably not the best track to have a time attack. Okay, no, oh my, okay. I was so distracted I rolled 3 times. Still fine because the ghost is so behind. That makes me lose 2 seconds. Just distracted today.
Oh yeah, the ghost is way behind.
Yeah.
Stickers unlocked. Select an event.
Okay, we will take a little detour in order to make this drift challenge.
Metal Sonic. Genesis mod.
Lucky enough, any of these classic tracks, we won't do any race in them.
So we have about 50 stars now. How many do you need to complete?
95.
95.
Okay, so we're almost there. Halfway there. Not almost.
I mean, we still need to start Twilight Engine, which is arguably the biggest and the worst section of the game. This track is one of the few tracks that were ported from the original All Stars Racing, and it's actually quite hard to race on because the AI are quite good in this track.
It's also just a very tight track with various like long straightaways and wide turns. So
And no transformations per lap, it's just car all the way through.
yeah, so projectiles can just travel so far. And yeah, that's why it's really frustrating.
Yeah,
Like, imagine fireworks, you know?
nothing is more frustrating than the next event, which is the only pursuit event we have in this speedrun. Pursuit is basically you have to destroy a tank that shoots stuff at you, and it's actually very cycle based, so there's no RNG. So every mistake I made is my fault.
It's everyone's least favorite mode in the game.
Definitely.
So every like, I don't know, 20 seconds he opens up the back of the tank and he stops shooting stuff at you.
Yeah,
And
he's
you
going
have
to open it now.
Just, you have to just hit him. And
Okay.
he slows down. If you're going slow, he slows down for you.
Yeah, so you don't want to be too fast because otherwise,
You can control like where he opens the tank basically.
You can also angle your car to get 6 rockets per rocket lineup as opposed to 3
Yeah.
when just driving.
yeah, he's
straight
going
away
to
through
open
them.
the tank now. So, which is good.
Like you really don't want him to open it on tight turns and stuff.
Okay. Oh, that was not good.
And it's basically a three-phase fight because he closes.
Okay, that
the,
was good.
Yeah.
That was honestly good.
That was
I
really
mean,
good.
in my PB, I actually managed to destroy the tank before the leap,
Location unlocked.
which is probably one of the best tank battles ever done.
Select an event.
Okay, so we are going to Twilight Engine.
Engine. Race.
And Twilight Engine is hard, because the AI really starts to increase the aggressiveness. I don't know the reason because it's still an A class, so but the AI really starts to be more difficult to manage. Especially here because the AI really likes to steal your boost item here.
Yeah, it's a triple item boost fairly early in the map, and it's pretty hard to get it against AI. Because AI
You can easily see
rubber
it.
band.
Yeah, quite a lot honestly.
They actually match.
And they got the triple item. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unlucky.
There's a huge difference between getting it and not getting it. It's probably the most RNG part of the whole run.
It's
Not
easier to
those
get in
are-
lap 2, but the AI are pesky and may grab it on lap 1, which makes it better.
Yeah, it's fairly easy to pass them even if you don't get it.
It's just a matter of grabbing
Okay,
it.
I'm doing so badly today. What's happening? What's
That's
happening?
actually one of the hardest turns too, right there.
Yeah, that's true, but
One of the little.
I usually
mini
never get
customs.
that battle. Never, never.
Ruling the race.
I still can't take that turn. To be
Oh
honest.
god, not the drone.
It's so strange to take. Right?
That drone made me lose a couple of seconds because I had to release the drift boost before the boost pad.
So he's gonna hold on to this triple item boost for the water section. Just to chain the boost so he never slows down.
If you are unlucky enough, you can actually lose the triple boost because at that fall, the transformation, there is another triple pickup, and if you get a triple pickup, every item you have will be overridden, so you can actually lose quite easily the triple boost.
There's nothing like losing your triple item boost to rockets
Oh yeah,
on Adder's Lair.
yeah, that's true. So now I want to go other way. I can get the triple pickup here. There's another super pickup here. It's a little detour, so you basically are not as fast as going to the main route. So if you are lucky enough, you can get a glove before.
We saw some pretty jank collision there too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
The game likes to try to make you displace you towards where you kind of want to go, and you can use it to your advantage. If you collide in a really bad way, the game will just kind of try to make it not so disastrous for you.
That's true.
And there's two maps where you can really use that. This one and Ocean View. No, and Shibuya Terminal too. Shibuya Downtown. I don't remember.
Okay, get ready for another battle race. Okay, this battle race, I'm actually not doing that. I will actually doing the normal race. Mainly for two reasons. First, okay. Ralph, why did you hit me like that? Okay, that's okay.
So yeah, sometimes the AI just don't do a boost start at all, and you just hit their ass. And
And that's worrying
sucks.
because they are basically so close to me right now.
Yeah, you typically don't want to be in first against AI in this mode.
I'm actually doing a normal race because it's... I mean, it's slower, but not too slow. So... And it's way safer and way more consistent. Oh, I have a stand buffer again. Okay, resolved.
Just go for 2 rolls. You can do the jump with 2.
Yes.
Not with my strat, to be honest.
Oh yeah, because you drift.
Yeah, I drift.
So what happens if you're falling and you're holding drift? You don't gain like falling acceleration. But if you're not, you keep gaining speed on every little fall. So
You actually want to avoid these boost pads here because you're going downward and basically you're going faster by not boosting there.
Yeah, so those boost pads are brilliantly put there to slow you down. Because like just like the downhill acceleration is actually faster than the boost level. It just makes wonderful sense.
I drift here because it's way more consistent in my opinion.
I've played this map for like 150 hours, so...
That's a nice jump.
I am one with this map.
These bluefish here are scary.
Yeah, that's a really annoying spot, because that's where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's not okay. This run is a disaster. It's still okay, I think. We're going pretty fast. Okay, so we return to Panzer Dragoon in order for another ring race. This is quite fun, but it's probably the hardest ring race in the entire run. If you want to do it perfectly, obviously. If you don't care about missing a couple of rings, it doesn't matter much.
There's a couple of points in this course where the turn points to the rings, like from one ring to the next, are very, very tight and narrow. You have to be careful about colliding with either side of the wall. The walls become tighter as you keep going.
Wow, this map is really fun.
There's so many points that you have to be careful about getting hit. With those 2 pillars back there.
You never have to, you don't drive through any of these sections in the normal map, so it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And you're driving backwards through the map here. Yeah, you don't see any of this in the normal map.
No, you never see them. Missed a couple of rings, but that's okay, because probably the time there wasn't any time lost.
13 seconds left.
Select an event. Boost challenge. A class.
So now we are back to Adder's Lair, and we are going to boost challenge. You can go way faster in this boost challenge compared to the normal race, especially in the plane section.
Wow, boost map here adds so many boost pads.
Yeah, they're incredible. And all these boost pads are level 1 boosts. As I told you earlier, Giant. So for some reason, even if this is a boost race, yeah, boost challenge, that water, lava stuff is present.
At least the bridge is up.
Okay, that was bad. I actually didn't use the boost item, which is bad. Because basically in this challenge, every time you complete a lap, the game will automatically give you a new boost item. Which is extremely useful.
Damage controlling bad situations in this game can be pretty tough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God this game is 60 FPS. Imagine doing this on console.
Imagine not.
Because the console version is, from a quality point of view, way inferior than the PC version.
There's one very brave person who plays the console version
Yeah.
for all the unique things you can do on it. Just because the PC version doesn't have a patched version to revert to. So there's skips that you can't do on PC.
Oh. Ouch. That's still okay.
Checkpoint. Finish. Event complete.
Okay, now what I think is the worst event in the entire game.
Select an event.
Chili Castle!
Oh dude, I love this map.
Oh god, I hate this map.
Mod.
No wait, no, I remember now, I do hate this map.
Me three.
Yo, the first turn on this map in Time Attack is like so bad.
Yeah.
There's a drop down where if you go too fast, you'll hit the top, like the
Yeah.
icicle part of it.
So you have to like literally either slow down or not use a 3 boost too near it. It's not that big of a deal, but it would be nice.
No,
if
it
you
is a
didn't
big
have
of a deal.
to. Well, I mean, it's easy to route around it, but if you didn't have to do it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then you could go even faster here.
Also, that transform ring there, it's so easy to get a stand buffer.
If you didn't have to slow down there in Time Attack, you could probably end up going like 5 seconds faster on this map.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Target beat.
Just
That's
because
probably
of
one
how
of my
Event complete.
best sprint events in this track I ever done.
Nice.
Yeah, that was clean.
Select an event. Race. A-Class. Metal Sonic. Genesis Mod.
Okay, so the next one is a standard race, so nothing too complex or broken probably. This track is so nice, I love it. The AI was surprisingly slow. I don't know why.
I don't
Usually
think any of them
they are not
did a
so.
boost start.
Yeah, exactly. They're usually not so slow.
Just generally improved. So that shortcut he just did is actually really annoying to do.
It's really hard.
There's no walls, you could just fall into the water.
You decide.
I don't even do it.
I don't either.
I
Now when
do it.
racing,
I do it only on single player, but in multiplayer I prefer not doing that. Oh, that drone.
It's too brave. I'm not brave enough for that.
Me either. I just don't have the courage. It's just like,
And if Equinox doesn't do it, then no one does it. Only fools do it.
Oh, there's another drone behind me probably. I can hear it.
Oh yeah, sometimes you can hear drones coming for you, but you don't see the little pop-up for them.
yeah, you don't see the indicator and they randomly will hit you.
So you have to listen and make sure you look for them. It's mainly a problem in multiplayer. I don't know how often it happens in here.
Yeah, it happens in S-Class, it's quite common.
I think if it retarget, like, okay, so if you dodge a drone, it goes to the person in front of you.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's
sh-
probably why it doesn't.
It should do like that, but sometimes you don't get the warning notification.
Yeah.
Your HUD.
So there's an invisible boost pad there, right?
Yeah, in the water section.
Yeah.
There are a couple of janky stuff in this game, like that invisible boost pad. In Dream Valley there are a couple of invisible points in which you can risk boost for whatever reason.
Event complete. Location unlocked. Select an event.
Okay, I think that the worst of the game is behind us.
Versus A-Class.
There's 20
We just
stars
have
left.
this, yeah, this versus event and a traffic attack later. Then basically the rest of the game is free.
Get ready.
This is another very heavy RNG stuff.
Round
It's the same versus event we made at the beginning of the run.
go.
As opposed to earlier events where there were 3 opponents you have to race, and this one you have to go against 5 of them. Sometimes they can fall off the course and make things easier for you, and in other cases they may hit you with items.
Yeah,
You just have to stay ahead.
Wait, they can just drive off the edge?
it's called
Sometimes.
RNG.
Sometimes, if you get really lucky.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's called RNG. So what I want to do here is wait for Shadow to get the boost pad and then immediately hit him because he will lose the boost bonus.
Can you just ram them off the edge?
Yes.
Like, could you just go slow and be like, boom, not off the edge?
I don't know
Maybe-
that.
Maybe that's the new best route.
I wouldn't be brave enough to try it.
I
Me
think
neither.
I am now.
Me neither.
Not brave enough for that burning depth shortcut, but I'm brave enough for that.
Maybe on sections like these where you're coming straight down, where it's just like the middle of the track and then left and right, it's off, out of balance maybe.
Round 4. What's that? Go.
So same as before, wait for him to get the boost. Oh no, the glow. That's unlucky.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
Oh, thank God.
Beautiful, I love it.
Yeah, that's
The
still
item synchronization. Jeez.
that's still bad
Unfound.
RNG to be honest.
So the AI isn't really able to account for certain boost levels, or like speed increases, and they'll just drive off the edge sometimes. They do that on Egg Hanger too.
Ah, That was terrible.
Twister. Twister.
Okay. Probably won this.
Finish. Event complete.
That was quite some bad RNG, to be honest.
Select an event.
And then we have another drift challenge.
A-class.
I'm really scared of this drift challenge because it's the only challenge I ever failed once doing a speedrun.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think
This
it was
map
the only
is
one I
pretty
failed as well, actually, too. So you're not alone.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like it, but the time here is surprisingly limited.
Checkpoint.
And there's a bunch of narrow turns that you have to take, so you have to stay consistent with staying in between the borders of the drifts, like the borders of the arrow lines. And if you don't gain all of the time that you would accrue from staying.
Yeah, sometimes the lanes that they make want you to follow are not the fastest lanes. So you just sometimes don't go through them. Okay, we should be fine by the way.
Double flip. Finish.
These challenges are basically made to like force players to learn to drift well.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Select an event.
Because if you don't drift, you're just so slow. It's so
Okay,
important
last
to
traffic
drift.
attack of the speedrun. This is the only event we would be doing in B class because it's actually faster to do it in B class
Get ready.
because there are less cars, less ways to cross, even if you are slower.
There's like one map you can do on B class, right?
Yes, it's the only you can do a single map one in B class, so you can choose whatever you want. I prefer doing this in B class. It's actually quite faster.
Rather than 15 hard waves, it's 12 medium waves, so the slower speed doesn't really matter.
That boost item just saved my life.
Nice.
Super glove.
Oh, that's so nice.
Also, yeah, he's driving over grass with the boost there, so you can just go off. You can go over any like bad terrain that would slow you down if you're just boosted. Pretty typical kart racing stuff.
That pass is so scary. You basically don't see what's ahead of you.
It's also a route you never want to take, unless the game
Yeah.
forces you.
The loop can be very misleading sometimes.
Okay.
Event complete. Select an event. Drift challenge. A-class. Metal Sonic. Genesis.
Okay, we are back to Chili Castle now. But this challenge is quite free.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Checkpoint. Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
You only need to be careful about the time, because it's still very tight with the time.
Checkpoint.
should be fine regardless.
Checkpoint. Double flip. Transform boost. Finish.
Okay.
Event complete.
So next one is the last ring race of the run, which is Carrier Zone.
Ring race.
Another
Clap.
nice chance to see section of the map you don't actually see in
Yeah.
standard races.
Yeah.
You drive into the ships,
Get
Yeah.
ready.
which makes no sense, but whatever.
Go.
I had a lot of trouble beating this on my first playthrough.
Me too. I
Checkpoint.
think I failed this probably like 20-ish times.
Yeah,
it was hard.
This and the Adder's Lair too.
Can risk boost here.
Risk boost.
This
Okay.
game was so hard to learn.
Yeah, this game is a really steep learning curve.
It's really weird to like think about it now because everything is just so natural.
Mhm.
You know, after like 800 hours, you know, it just happens.
Yeah, but the transition though, it's just like you learn the basics, feel like you've learned the entire game, but then the game hands you a handful of hidden mechanics, and you have to deal with them accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think these are realistic ship designs. I'd love to be proven wrong on that.
I guess it's worth noting that you cannot skip the one end of the ship from one end to the other, as there is an invisible wall there. So you
Yeah.
have to basically go inside of the ship regardless.
Okay, so the next one is the best challenge of the entire game. Because it's the only boost race of the entire run.
Metal Sonic. Genesis mod.
And this
Which
is
a
actually...
shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. And it's actually so fun because
Get ready.
this track is so fast in the boost race that if you look at the mini-map between lap 2 and lap 3, you will see the AI doing some weird stuff, which is a mechanic you don't actually see often, which is catch-up respawn.
Oh yeah, if you make the map change and people are still on the old version of the map, it just respawns them at the start of the new version of the map. It doesn't happen very often, but
Yeah, especially with the AI, but it will actually happen here probably.
new players will see it often in like multiplayer. It's probably not very fun to see.
Yeah.
Transform boost.
You can easily see how far behind the AI are right now.
The invisible boost pad isn't there on this map, is it?
No, the invisible boost pad is only on lap 3.
Wait, really?
Yeah, only on lap 3, not lap 2. It's so
Oh,
strange.
God.
Two little things.
Doesn't make any sense.
Sumo.
And isn't it like only invisible on certain parts, certain versions of the map?
I think so.
Like it's there in time
It's
attack.
so strange. It's so strange.
Isn't it there in time attack? You can see it.
It's like a purple silhouette in time attack, but in regular racing, I think it's just not even there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So damn weird.
Yeah, they just got respawned. If you look at the map.
There's also at least one situation in Galactic Parade where two of the boost circles, the purple boost circles, are actually stacked. So there's two of them. You can't tell there's two of them, but there's two.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's just
Oh,
like
this is
two
pretty
people.
solid, by the way.
Finish. Congratulations. First place. Event complete.
Yeah, Sud in chat says that 800 hours for learning the basics of for this game is incredible. But yeah,
Sounds normal.
this game is really hard to master. Okay, so the last race of this run is
Get ready.
pretty broken. Let's say that.
This track is very unique.
Oh, that.
as the
Okay,
person
thank you for the
first-
super glow because the AI here are quite crazy with the items.
The
That's
person in
because-
first, they take two paths, and as the two paths they break apart, there's a water section or a boat section and a plane section, and the person in first determines who, what the other racers will take as well as themselves. You want to be in first, and you usually take the boat section as it's faster in speedrunning as opposed to the plane section. However, the AI sometimes may get ahead of you and take the plane section.
Not always, but yeah, they like the plane section.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
want the plane section.
It's way slower.
Yeah, it's incredibly slower.
It's also boring as hell, which is weird to say about a plane section.
It's the most boring in the game.
Because you just drive straight. That's it. You sort of risk boost, but not really. Not
Yeah,
in a fun
really
way.
not really.
Okay, these boosts are pretty solid. Probably
Yeah,
my
that's a good water section.
yeah.
I don't
So
know
you
why
see all
it's
these waves, you can actually, okay, that wasn't good. You see all these waves, sometimes you get enough air to attempt a stunt boost.
And that's really important because you can just go faster and faster and faster with every little hop. This game is also very lenient about whether or not you're on the track. You can basically go off the track and still be on it.
Yeah. That was a nice evasion.
So basically this map just gets tighter and tighter every lap. Like it literally like it shrinks every lap.
The minimap's disabled for the entire race, only on this track.
And the reason it's disabled, I think, is because if you look at it from a third person's perspective, everything is weird and layered on top of each other. There's like
Yeah.
loops everywhere.
Oh god, that wasn't good.
Like if you're at the start line, you just stop and look off the edge. You can like see parts of the track way below you. So like a minimap wouldn't really help you that much.
So in the last lap you don't care about the items, so you can just spam them. Otherwise it's best to avoid leaving items in the track. You can actually hit the following lap.
There's also boost pads in thin air on this map somewhere.
Especially in the boost race version of this track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know about that. I didn't know you could choose plane or boat for like until like less than a year ago.
Really?
It took me quite some time, maybe like a year and a half to learn that.
I thought it was random. I had no idea. I just never looked at the silhouettes, I guess. It's hard to notice the details when you're just trying to go fast.
Yeah, I first thought it was like just two paths. And like,
Yeah.
it was just random, like either the plane or the boat.
There's nothing else like it.
Yeah. Okay, so we almost finished now.
Event complete.
Time is coming up soon.
Location unlocked.
We just need to get to the credits.
Select an event.
And time. Okay, so 122. Okay, that's not too bad to be honest. I
Not
thought
bad
it
at
was.
all.
Yeah, I thought it was worse. but yeah, I think still it's a nice run.
It's a
Sub
really fun
122.
game.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we have enough time to probably show off something else because the estimate was way too many minutes over what I actually did. So I think we can show something like, I don't know, maybe we can show Dream Valley or something like that.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yeah. So I have to restart the game because I have to load my save file, so give me a minute. So I need to put my standard save file and delete this one. Users.
Pokemon
Speed,
Gold starts in 10 minutes.
user data. Remove. Let's remove this one and let's restart the game. Sadly, there is no save management system, so every time I need to restart the game. Actually, you don't need to create a save file usually when you do a speedrun, and it's actually slower because you usually lose 1 to 2 seconds of time because the game has to save every time. But it's more safe for a marathon, I think.
Oh, have you ever done a transform launch?
No.
Oh man, that's fun to show too.
It gets so wacky.
I mean, we can show Dream Valley now. So
You should just show Pink's video. on Galactic Parade.
okay, we are going with Ages. Ages is the last card of the game. You usually need to complete 100% of the game to unlock the console mod for this character, but it's actually the fastest one. And Dream Valley is quite a nice map, to be honest.
3, 2, 1, go!
The only thing here is, as always, the AI, because now we are playing in S-Class, and S-Class is actually incredibly hard because the AI really likes to shoot you wherever they can, as you can just see.
Every ring he passes through gives him a level 1 boost, so he can chain them successfully while just running through multiple of them. And they'll just constantly go up, and then if you go through too many of them fast enough, you'll have a constant stream of level 6 behind you, which is the orange flame with the rings.
Oh god, that was not nice. Okay, rip for the launch in lap 1. The main point is that if you get fast enough, you can basically skip the whole water section here.
Yeah, you can land in the transform ring on the other side.
Yeah, it's actually quite hard, to be honest. I managed to do that only twice or 3 times.
It's pretty hard to do it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And if you fail it, you can lose up to 20 seconds, I think. Just from that one thing.
Risk boost, risk boost,
yeah,
risk boost,
Pretty rare to
Risk
lose 20
boost.
seconds in a race.
risk boost, risk boost. Risk boost.
Some people turn the announcer off. I can't possibly understand why.
I don't.
Okay, that was too
Never.
high. That was too high.
Yeah. You need to land on the rock.
Yeah, that was lucky, by the way. Because if you miss the rock and you land in the water section and the water below the rock, you're going to lose so much time. As far as you manage to land on the rock, it's still fine. That was so terrible, by the way. Oh god, I hate those rocks. we wanted
Those
to show
rocks are like
we wanted
pain
to
in
show
the
the
butt.
jump, but I didn't manage to do it anytime. Not even once.
I would have just went the time attack to do it. It's way easier with an item boost.
Yeah, that's true. You probably should do time attack if I still have the time to do it. And it's even more consistent in time attack, honestly.
I'm actually gonna post Pink's video in chat.
Yeah, you're free to do it.
It's worth it.
That's probably 3 and 20. Yeah, 3 and 28. It's so terrible. Yeah, I think we have a couple of minutes, so if we have, I will load time attack because it's incredible. I will do just one lap, so
Green ballot. Characters ages mod.
just to show how broken this game can be.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
It's one of the best videos for this game ever.
Wrist boost. Wrist boost.
Just to attempt to explain that video, if you're not like over a track, you kind of don't fall, so you... It
It's
doesn't make-
honestly so much to digest.
It took us like a year to understand it,
Oh yeah.
and we still don't really understand it.
Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost.
Okay, this is the jump how you're supposed to do it.
Oh, this is a good setup.
Yeah, this is extremely good. The landing was not good, but that was it basically it.
Yep, you basically skipped the entire boat section.
Don't even have to land it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This time, last time.
Wrist boost.
Yes, that is a flying controller.
The greatest thing.
It's a flying Dreamcast controller in the Sonic game, yes.
Wrist boost.
Who would have guessed that?
Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost. Wrist boost.
Shoutouts to the beautiful Sonic racing community who have made my life better over the last year.
Good setup. And better landing this time.
Wrist boost.
But yeah, that is basically Rim Valley.
And good luck on Pokemon Gold, guys.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
So thank you for watching, guys. I think we are done here, and
Choose your track.
thank you for letting me play this game for you today. And see you next time.